Let's get it. What's up, Stampers? What is going on, people? It's about 10 p.m. It's Thursday night, and my day has officially ended. Oftentimes, I post content about giving tips about estate plan signings, marketing your business. Just I share a lot of information that can be very useful to mobile notaries. What I'm going to talk about today is something I haven't really talked about often is the ugly side of running or operating a nationwide signing agency. Before we begin, if this is your first time on the channel, my name is Rafael Jermison. I am the owner, founder of Stamper Signings. We are a nationwide mobile notary service that specializes in providing estate planning notary services for estate planning law firms. We're based out of California. If this is your first time being on this channel, please make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to this channel as well. We're always posting content daily on everything notary, right? So please make sure you subscribe to this channel. So again, let's talk about today was a really interesting day. So I'm gonna talk about my day to day and talk about what the ugly side to running a nationwide notary service. Right. Oftentimes we hear about the good, right? You can work from home, you can work remotely, you can work from anywhere in the world. You don't necessarily need to be present for every single signing. Um, pretty much you can cast a wide net across the country, and pretty much you can service clients anywhere in the world. Um, that is definitely true. There's definitely some benefits to starting a nationwide notary service. You don't necessarily have to be at every single appointment. You don't necessarily need to drive to all of your appointments, right? Those are the good things. That's the good thing about operating a signing service, right? But what I'm gonna share with you today is talk about the ugly side. And um, today I had eight signings. So 8 signings on the calendar. Now yesterday, going into today, which is what the day I'm recording this, I had 8 signings on the calendar. Usually when you have that amount of signings on the calendar, which isn't the first time, it's definitely exciting. It's definitely exciting because there was a period in my notary career where I was just praying for a signing, right? I was just praying to get 2 signings in a day. If I were my whole goal was if I was able to book 2 signings before like 10 a.m. or 12 p.m. for me, that was a win. That was a win for me, right? But since that point in time, the standards have risen, right? Their standards have risen since that time, and so 2 appointments in a day, that's not going to do much for me. Now, obviously, I'm still grateful because I'm in business and I have clients that are willing to work with me. But I'm at a point now where 2 or 3 appointments a day that's the minimum. That's that's what if we don't have 2 appointments on the calendar, obviously we're doing something wrong, right? So coming into today, I know I had eight signings, and out of those 8 signings, I only had 1 signing that I need to be present for, right? So I'll give you a list of all of those signings. So 2 of those signings were medical affidavit signings. Those were going to be in Texas, and then I booked. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that put me. I think I had 4 estate plan signings. I had got an estate plan signing that came in, like a request that came in late last night. Needed a notary out in Hawaii, and we've done a few signings in Hawaii, so that actually pushed it to 8. So I had 4 estate plan signings, and then I had a jail signing. I had a jail signing that's well on the calendar. So those are always interesting to do, and I may be a little bit by, like I said, 3. So we had 2 medical affidavit signings. I had a jail signing, that's 3, and I had 5 estate plan signings. I take that back. I have 5 estate plan signings today. That was supposed to, so that brought it to a total of 8 appointments. So usually coming into the day, you want to make sure you're well prepared. You want to make sure that the notaries have has the documents ready to print. Are any mailing late? Does anything needs to be mailed back? Do I need to make sure I have their mailing labels so that way we don't have any hiccups or anything of that nature? So I came into today really like, readily prepared, ready for action. So, um, so yeah, I started my day like around 5 a.m., got up, checked the emails, did my due diligence, make sure I got everything set up. And the first two signings were the medical affidavit signing. So I received word that the first medical affidavit signing was completed, which is great. And then the second signing, I was informed that that signing was completed. Right. So I was like, okay, cool. We're already off to a good start. We got two signings already completed. And by get to around 10 a.m., I had to do the jail signing. So I go to the county jail to do a signing. I'm obviously, well, through an attorney. Good. Well, he's pretty much a friend of mine at this point, but he's my client. Requesting me to do the jail signing. So while I'm there waiting, we're waiting. We get, we end up getting the signing done. And as I'm walking to my car, I get notification from my assistant that one of the medical affidavit signings actually wasn't completed. Now I was like, okay, well, why would you tell me that the signing was completed? Then you turn around and tell me that it wasn't completed. Because typically when a signing is completed, I usually will send, let the client know that the signing was completed, and then we send the invoice. So you can imagine how the stupid look on my face when I got the email from the client say, "Hey, you told us that the signing was completed. You sent us the email. You sent us the invoice, but then the medical provider is telling us that the notary just called them and let us know let them know that the notary is on the way. So we just want to get clarification on what happened." So, make a long story short, I guess AT&T has some type of shortage or whatever. I don't know what the hell happened. AT&T had some type of issue where it affected a lot of people who do business with them. And one of the notary that I had assigned for that signing was a victim of that. So she wasn't able to. She was having some issues with her phone, and she wasn't able to confirm the signing or even let me know or let our team know that the signing was even completed. So thankfully, we were able to get that one rescheduled for again later time today, and that signing got completed. So that is an example of things like that can really throw you off, right? So in situations like that, as a signing service owner, let me put this out there: if you don't possess like leadership qualities, if you're not someone that's willing to take accountability for your notaries that make mistakes or something may have happened, if you're not someone that's not willing to hold yourself accountable and take full responsibility for whatever happens within your signing service, it's not for you. You shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do it because oftentimes you're working with businesses, right? This is not on when you're operating a signing agency. You're kind of transitioning away from working with consumers. Now, it's nothing wrong with working with consumers, but if you want to get to that point where we have a recurring business and we have huge volume of signings coming in, you're going to work with businesses. And so when you're working with businesses, got to be accountable, got to be willing to take full responsibility, get that stuff out the way so you can make sure that that business is serviced. Because at the end of the day, you want to continue to get their business, right? So keep that in mind when you're running a signing agency. So, that's just the first fire that we put out, that I initially put out today. I thought, okay, cool. It's business that comes along with it. So after that, I had another estate plan. I had my first estate plan signing the other day. That one was completed. Got word. I had one of my best notaries to take care of the signing. Didn't have any issues, and then I'm getting another sign. I had another signing done in Washington, and those signings got done. No issues whatsoever. Here was the issue that I ran into today with those two particular signings. So those signings were completed, no issues, right? The notaries did great, but here's where I messed up, right? They were reaching out to me. They was asking me for mailing labels, and typically I'm pretty good about getting mailing labels out ahead of time, but for some reason I didn't get the mailing labels to them for these two particular signings. And so I'm not even thinking of it because I'm at this, and then during this time when I'm getting notice that the signing was completed, I'm coming back from the county jail signing that I've completed. I'm coming back to the office, so I'm doing all of this by phone. I had to stop. I took, got off the freeway real quick because I had enough time. I just wanted to just take a second to relax. Um, and I'm going through the emails. I'm like, oh, why didn't I just send a mailing label? Something I'm missing here. Well, I had sent my assistant or my scheduler a new template to use for all of our estate plan signings. So a template is pretty much what I use. It's a confirmation template. So when you have a signing agency, you want to send a confirmation to the notaries that you're going to be doing business with, and then that confirmation is going to have the client's details, instructions on how the signing is supposed to take place. And I created a new template so our team could be more efficient in the signings that we perform. And so I sent my scheduler this template, and I'm looking at the instructions on the template, and then I'm looking at the instructions from the attorney's office that they sent us for those signings that I'm telling you about. No mailing was required, right? No mailing was required for these two signings. But I not even realizing I went ahead and just bought two mailing labels, right? So I just wasted $20. I just wasted $20. I just wasted $20 on mailing labels that absolutely wasn't needed because I was just so thrown off. I'm like, wait, I know I'm usually pretty good about making sure they got their documents and have their mailing labels and stuff on time. So again, I had to let the notaries know, like, hey, don't worry about it. Just make sure the clients get their documents back, because the instructions were to leave the documents with the clients, right? But in the confirmation email that my scheduler sent to the notaries, it said for them to take the documents to be mailed back. But I also had on the instructions that on the template that these instructions are subject to change as well. So I had to take full responsibility for that because I should have let them know that, hey, no mailing is required. So they were pretty cool about it, and they ended up dropping those documents off. But I wasted $20 on two mailing labels for signings that absolutely didn't require to be mailed off. So I was just like, come on, man, we better than that, right? But otherwise, the notaries did great. Those signings got completed, and so after that, got to do my dad duties because I am a father. I have two kids. Um, and while in the middle of while I found out that those two signings were completed, went ahead and got my kids from school. Got my kids from school, came back home, and by the time I had got home, I think it was like around 3 or 3:30. I had another signing that was going to take place. So thankfully, that signing got done. That signing got done. There was no issues. I think there was no mail. No mailing was required. As a matter of fact, the notary that had to sign for that particular signing, no documents needed to be printed. Like the client was already going to have to print it. It was already going to have the documents printed. So only thing they needed to do was just show up and get the document signed, and that's that. So we had no issues with that one. Um, After that, no, I take that back. I take that back. Let me recap. Let me recap because I left something out. Remember when I talked about that medical affidavit signing that was complete? That was where the notary who had some issues with AT&T, and then she actually went to the signing and got it done. I got another email from my client for that particular signing that she notarized the document for the wrong patient, right? Because it was a medical affidavit signing, and when she went up there to request, to actually do the signing, the medical provider who she was notarizing the document for gave her the wrong person. Gave her the wrong person. So I took a loss. I pretty much took a loss on that signing. So I got to pay the notary because she already went out and did the signing, right? So I forgot to mention that I took a loss on that signing because they ended up emailing me and say, hey, she notarized the document, but it was actually for the wrong person. So we're going to coordinate and get this done again. So I took a loss, so I got to pay the notary for making the trip, right? But it's no problem because I'm completely down with making sure notaries are compensated for their time. So, but it just sucks because I took a loss in that instance. But it's neither here or there. So that's that one went. It didn't go right. So and then I told you about the signing that estate plan signing that was in Hawaii. I got it scheduled last night, and then the client texted me, well, the signer texted me this morning, and she let me know that, hey, I kind of got my schedule mixed up. I'm not gonna be able to do it today. Can we reschedule for another week? There's always, I don't mind rescheduling, but I always like to get those, whatever signing is on our calendars, I like to get those done like right away. Right. So it sucked in the moment because it was kind of difficult. It took me a minute to find that notary, but I was just happy that, hey, the notary was still willing to reschedule and still going to be available for that particular signing. So that's two signings that we end up. That one I had to take, I took a loss on, and the other one got rescheduled. And then the signing that I got done at 3:30, cool, no issues, no worries at all. So again, I had been up since like 5. No, I actually been up since 4:30. I actually been up since 4:30, 4:30, 4:45. So I decided to take a nap. I decided to take a nap like around, I want to say like around 4, like 4 o'clock. Took a nap like around 4 o'clock. Because I had my last signing of the day was going to be at 5. My last signing of the day was going to be at 5 o'clock. So I wake up, it's about 5. Um, and around 5:20, I think like around 5:30 rolls around. Um, I get an email. I get an email from the signer for the 5 o'clock signing. And she lets me know that, hey, the notary never showed up. And as a signing agency owner, whenever you hear a signer say the notary didn't show up, like your heart skips a beat, because no shows are like the last thing that you want. Like no shows are not good, like in any capacity. You do not want no shows, because again, the notaries that you're going to hire are a representation of you. So if you told the client that, or told the signer that the notary is going to be there, you want to keep your word, and your word is everything in business. So when I received that email, I was like, oh no, wait, what happened? So what ended up happening was, I have this notary that I have assigned for the signing. She's a great notary, by the way. She has a Calendly, and I have a Calendly as well. I have a Calendly as well. So we was talking, and she told me, would I be open to actually just scheduling whenever I have a signing available, if I want to schedule her, just to use her Calendly. I said absolutely, because I use Calendly anyway, so that's actually much helpful. It's very helpful. In the confirmation email that I sent her, the signing was scheduled for today, but I accidentally scheduled her for the signing on her Calendly on Friday at the same time. Oh man, this is this. I mean, you can imagine how I felt in that moment, right? So I was like, oh man, this is not good. I got to get this taken care of. And so I ended up scrambling. I ended up calling her. I said, hey, I actually got the signing is actually supposed to be scheduled for today, not tomorrow. Is there any kind of way you can get out there? I know this is last minute, but is it possible that you can get out here and get the signing done today? And luckily, she was so. And luckily for me, she was graceful. She was graceful about. She gave me grace. She didn't make a big deal about it. She was like, "Oh yeah, that's part. Yeah, I understand. Yeah." I mean, she was really cool about it. She was really cool about it. But then she was really cool about it. So she said, "Yeah, I'll go out there right now and get it taken care of." So I think she ended up going out there. And so here's the funny part about this. So she goes out to the signing, and I want to say probably about 30, 45 minutes later, she actually emails me and say, hey, I've arrived. I'm with the client right now. Excellent. Great. That's awesome. She sends me she sends me an email and say, hey, the date is wrong on this acknowledgement page. What should I do? And mind you, she only just sent me just this one page. So typically if it's like one page in a situation like that, if the date is wrong, what you can do is you just line through the date, put the correct date, and then just initial by it, right? Well, but you always want to ask the attorney's office or ask your client first. But typically, I have a really good relationship with this client who we perform the signing for. So I was pretty confident in saying that just line through the date and then just initial by it. And so she said, okay, cool, no problem. And then like Another 15 minutes go by. She had called me, but I was on the phone because I was talking to, in the middle of trying to schedule another jail signing. I had got another request for a jail signing. I'm on the phone trying to get the details, because it was at a location where, they may allow notaries. Then they already have notaries there. So you just want to make sure you got the right information. And so I had missed her phone calls, and I ended up calling her back, and she tells me that we have to reschedule. She says we have to reschedule. I'm like, oh, what happened? She was saying that, yeah, all the documents, the dates are for the 17th. So originally this signing was supposed to take place on the 17th, but there was an issue with there was issues with the documents, and we had to reschedule for the day on the 22nd. So the documents were supposed to say February 22nd, but they said February 17th on all of them. On all of them. So I'm just like, oh no, no, no. I was thinking to myself, like, wait, didn't I send you the updated documents? Guess what happened, y'all? The attorney sent me the updated documents on the 20th. She sent me the updated documents on the 20th. And I already had sent the confirmation to the notary. I didn't know why I don't know how that slipped past me. I don't know how I didn't send her the updated documents for this to take place. So essentially, it's my fault. It's pretty much my fault. So here's how this happens. Not only did I waste her time, she wasted her time, she wasted time printing the documents, and she wasted time driving there. Also wasted the signer's time, because not only was the signing was supposed to take place at 5, but we ended up getting to the signing late. Ended up getting to her late, so it ended up taking place at 7, and we still had to reschedule. And then I wasted the attorney's time because they had to update the documents and get these documents taken care of. So essentially, I wasted three people. I wasted three different people's time, energy in their process. And for someone like myself, I don't know if you all can tell, but just from watching my content, I'm very invested in my craft. I'm very invested into my craft. I care deeply about what I do. I care about being the best. I care about providing the highest quality of service. I look at this as a sport. I love to compete, right? And so I grew up playing basketball. So the same mentality that I brought to the basketball court, I bring that into the notary business. And I'm extremely competitive. So whenever I have to reschedule a signing or something that was done that was my fault, it really irritates me and it really pisses me off. And so for that to happen, where this is the second time we had to reschedule, I got the already it was already like miscommunication on my end, right, in regards to the notary, and then I didn't give her the right documents, and then I had to tell my client that, hey, I dropped the ball on this one. The client is over to rescheduling. I apologize. And oh man, it just sucks. It just sucks in the moment. And so when situations like that happen, you just gotta take a moment. You gotta get that, whatever angry feelings that you have, you gotta get it out. You may have to yell or something, because I was yelling. I had a moment. Not a moment where I'm crying or I'm just like I can't control myself, but I'm just like pissed off, because like, damn, man. You don't want to disappoint your clients. You always want to come through. You never want to say no. You always want to be that person where whenever, no, regardless of what type of situation your client is, whenever they call you, you know that you can come through. You want them to always feel like, you know what, Rafael is always going to come through for me. He's always going to make sure that my clients are taken care of, and I really take pride in making sure my clients' clients are taken care of. And so to have that happen, where it was pretty much my fault, I was just, oh man, I was extremely pissed about it. But in a situation like that, you got to get over it. You got to get over it. It's just like the next play. Just like the next play mentality. It's just like with you, you playing basketball, right? You turn it over, right? It's like, damn, you pissed off in the moment, but you got to get back to the next play, right? Same thing if you're playing football. If I throw an interception or if I fumble the ball, it's like, okay, man, it sucks in the moment that I did that. I turned the ball over, but it's like, okay, cool. You did it, you learn from it, and then you move on to the next. You move on to the next play. And so that's the type of mentality that I bring when it comes to doing this, right? So yeah, it sucks. I'm still kind of pissed about it, but tomorrow I wake up, it's water under the bridge, and then my client was pretty cool about it. And the reason why she was pretty cool about it because I have proof. I have proof that I've come through for my clients over and over and over again. Whether if it's scheduling notaries at the last minute, whether if it's doing a signing on a holiday, whether if it's getting signings done, like again, just for emergency situations, I've always been able to come through and make the impossible happen. And so in a situation like that where I dropped the ball, I was given grace because they know my work, right? They know my work, they know what I bring to the table, and they know I'm invested and care deeply about my craft. So that's the ugly side to running the business, right? They don't tell you about these things that happen. You're gonna have situations where you're gonna drop the ball. You're gonna make mistakes, right? I had 8 signings today, and only 5 of them got completed. I had 8 signings today, and only 5 of them got completed. Now you may be watching this and say, "Well, 5 signings is good." Yeah, 5 signings is good, but I want to go 8 for 8. Right? I want to go 8 for 8. I don't want to go 5 for 8. Right? If you got 8 signings on the calendar, you want to go. You want to, if you get all of those completed at the end of the day, you want to be able to say, "Man, I got 8 signings completed today. Everything went perfect." Right? Whatever obstacles was in the way, we were able to navigate them, and we got everything done. Right? So even though I was, it's not perfect. At the end of the day, I'll take 5 signings completed. 1 or 2 of those got rescheduled, and one of them, we'll have to work that medical affidavit signing. We'll have to work on how we're going to get that taken care of. So that's the ugly side of running this. That's the ugly side of running a nationwide signing agency. You're going to be, and one of the things that you'll learn quickly is that when you're doing signings in other states, it's not like you can just stop what you're doing and go handle the signing yourself. Like, no, you gotta make sure you got the right people that's gonna perform the job right. They're gonna represent your company good, and they're gonna represent your client in a good light as well. Right? This is not easy. It's not easy to do. It takes a lot of responsibility to run a signing agency, especially on the level that we're doing. But but yeah, man. Even though it's an ugly side to this, it's also exciting. It's exhilarating. Um, all those emotions that you feel, the excitement, all of that. I get excited to do this type of work because there was a point in time in my life where I was mainly working with signing services. I was getting $75 signings and was negotiating to get 85. And if I were to get $85 for a signing, I was excited about that. There was a point in my life where I was walking to the mailbox literally every single day, just thinking like, okay, did the 30 days pass yet? Did the 45 days pass yet? Just hoping that my check was in there. And so to be in this position now where I'm pretty much in control when I receive payment. I'm in control. I'm able to dictate how many appointments we book a week. I get to cherry pick on which type of appointments that I want. Like I have nothing to complain about, So it's always good about it's about keeping things in its proper perspective. Yeah, again, I want to get 8 for 8. I wanted to be 8 for 8. I wanted to get everything knocked out at the end of the day so I can at the end of the day be like, yo, I did 8 signings. They can't mess with me. I'm the best to do this. I want to do that, but I'll take it. 5 for 8. That's still not a bad percentage. That's still what 47. What I don't think it's definitely not 50%. That's a higher percentage than that. But hey, 5 for 8 is not bad. But I still wanted to be 8 for 8. So but yeah, I hope you guys got value from this. Again, it's not easy running a signing agency, but it's definitely worth it. You're gonna have your days where it just seems like some stuff just doesn't go your way. And then you're gonna have some days where you just on a hot streak that you just can't miss. Everything is going right from the way you're operating to your team is operating to the notaries are performing. Your clients are happy. And, at the end of the day, I want to see my clients happy. I want to make sure that, whoever, whenever they're doing business with me, they have no doubts and they have no concerns about me because they know I'm going to show up, I'm going to perform, I'm going to make sure that their clients are taken care of. So, but yeah, that's the ugly side of running a sign service. It's going to be some ugly days, but those days are going to be worth it. For me, it was like I said, it's a learning lesson for me today. My biggest takeaway from today was, you got to be on top of your game. You got to be on top of your game. Just like notary signing service owners, we got to follow instructions too, right? Because we get instructions from the client as far as how the signing is supposed to be completed. And yeah, man, I'm not exempt from it either, man. So I hope you guys took some lessons away from this. Follow instructions, be on your A game, be accountable, take full responsibility. And your clients will appreciate you for that. So appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Let me know what you think. I would love to hear your love to know your feedback in the comments below. What did you think 5 for 8 is cool? Do you think what can I do? I would love to hear from you guys. What can I do today? What can I do? What is something that I missed out on that could help me to be 8 for 8 on the next time around? I may have 8 appointments in a single day. Because I look at it like this: if I can't handle 8 appointments in a day, then how am I going to handle 15 in a day? Right. And so I look at it from that standpoint. So even though I've had 8 signings and done those in a single day, you want to be able to have, you want to be able to consistently show that, hey, and consistently show and prove to yourself that, oh, we got 8 appointments on the calendar. That's nothing. We can do that. Because again, it's a gradual process. And when you have a signing service, you want to scale, right? So if we want to get to doing the 300,000, 400,000, and even to the $1 million mark in revenue per year, you're going to have days where you have 10, 15, 20 signings in a day. And I want to be able to say that, okay, 8 signings in a day is nothing. Let's bring on 15. Okay, 15 signings is nothing. Okay, that's nothing. Let's see if we could do 20 in a day. So I'm striving to get to that point. So if you guys got any feedback for me on what I could have done to be better, I would definitely appreciate it. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you think. Again, make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, and let me know what more content that you would like to see me post. Right? Again, a lot of my content is based on estate plan signings. That's my niche. I'm going to continue to post more about that. If you have particular questions that you have in regards to estate planning notary services, definitely let me know, and I would definitely try to get that content out. So appreciate y'all. Love you guys. Peace.